And I'd like to start by thanking the organising committee for inviting me to be here with you all today. I consider it an incredible honour, and I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to address what I consider to be an incredibly fine student cohort, as well as respected colleagues, esteemed guests, and fellow speakers. So I'm very excited to be talking to you about what I hope you've really learnt in school, and what I hope you're really learning. Now, it might seem a strange topic for a teacher. As Dylan just said, I'm an English teacher. Surely the answer is obvious. I hope you're learning to love literature, to love manipulating language to create meaning, and of course, I hope you're learning the teaching outcomes that are assigned to my subject. But this is a bigger picture talk. What I'm talking about is what I think is really relevant for you today, because we're in the 21st century. This is the digital age. What is the point of the bricks and mortar school experience? Why is it still relevant? What do I hope you're really learning in school? Here at AIS, we make great use of Connect when it's working, and it enables our students at home to be able to access their resources. If they're sick, they can keep up with what's going on in their subjects, and they don't miss out on their learning. As Dylan mentioned, I've done a Master's of Education. I did it entirely online. I attended virtual lectures, I collaborated with fellow students using Google Hangout, and I had all my questions answered via email. So that brings me back to my question. Actual school, what's the point? Well, I hope this talk will answer that question for you. What is the difference between the online experience and coming to school every day? Quite simple. It is the face-to-face contact, it is real-time interaction, and it is the physical connection that you are experiencing when you come to school. So these are the factors that bring me to my first hope of what I hope you're really learning in school. I hope you're learning the value of your tribe. Now, here at AIS, we place high value on having a very warm and welcoming community. But I am using the word tribe with a very specific intent, because your tribe are the students that you come to school to be with every day. All right? They're what get you out of bed and get you here because you want to be with them. They're your gang. You look after each other, you support each other. Now, of course, I hope that you all have incredibly supportive families, but this goes beyond that, because your peers are of a similar age to you, and they will follow you throughout your life. So, why do I know that you need to value this tribe? I know because, like you, I grew up in Singapore, going to an international school. I am a third culture kid, as you are. And you don't understand yet quite how fundamental that concept is going to be for your life. You will leave AIS and you will no longer see your tribe every day. You will go out and you will create new tribes. But only when you again experience will you understand what a connection you have and what a fundamental comfort that will be for you when you reconnect with members of your school tribe. So, I'm going to illustrate this point with a story from my own life. When I was in my early 20s, I was living and working in London. I was engaged to a wonderful young man, and I was working at the BBC. My life was awesome. It was fantastic. I had everything I dreamed. Jake was living with another one of our best mates from uni, Sam, and I was flatting with Sam's girlfriend. Then Jake explained that he couldn't marry me because he thought he was probably gay and he needed to figure that out. I agreed. But unlike other breakups, where he or she cheats and the tribe choose sides. Our tribe was trying to support both Jake and I, and we were trying to be supportive of each other. But I was heartbroken and angry and struggling to get through every day. So I reached out to a member of my school tribe, Iman, and I told him what had happened. He turned up on my doorstep that afternoon. It was a Saturday. And he was like, "Oh my God, Kath, what can I do? Do you need to talk? Should we go for a coffee?" And I was like, "I have talked enough." And he, remembering my love of musicals in high school, said, "All right, what musical do you want to go and see?" And I went, "Well, Phantom of the Opera, of course, but we'll never get tickets." He refused to accept my negativity, kicked me out the door, and we went and queued for 3 hours to get returns for the show. We didn't know if it would work, but while we were in that queue, we chatted. We reminisced about old times and past breakups, and suddenly we were at the front of the line. We got tickets, they were cheap, and they were in the front row. So we watched Phantom of the Opera, and it was amazing. I was transported, I was transfixed, I was ecstatic, and I felt joy. Only briefly, but I felt joy. And so what Iman had been able to do was know what I needed to remember that I was still going to be capable of experiencing joy in my life. And he also reminded me that I was larger than the current drama I was going through. My life was bigger than that. And then another old school friend happened to move to London, and I was able to move in with her. So essentially, my school tribe came and rescued me when I was at one of the darkest points in my life. So, know the value of your tribe, guys. Stay in contact. Be there for each other. And why is it important that that came out of an international environment? Well, Iman is Pakistani, I'm Australian, the other friend is French-Welsh, and we were all in London. Third culture kids just do stuff like that. So now that brings me to my second hope of what I hope you're really learning in school. I hope you're learning the inevitability of failure. It is not possible to go through life without experiencing failure. I don't mean making mistakes. You are all very au fait with the concept that we need to make mistakes to improve, to do things better, to learn more. I mean the inevitability of experiencing an absolutely monumental, epic failure. You have poured your heart into something. You have worked your hardest. You have given it your all. And it still fails. Why do I hope you learn this? Because you need to learn that epic failure is survivable. If you don't learn this, then one of two things will happen. Number one, you will never ever risk failing epically, and therefore you will never achieve spectacularly. Or number two, you will fail epically and let it break you. So I hope you're going to learn, or have learnt, the inevitability of failure. Now, why do I think that you can learn that here at AIS? Such a warm and supportive environment. In Singapore, it's so safe. Well, you are teenagers, so your concept of a monumental, epic failure is slightly out of whack to where it will be when you're 50. And you're surrounded by your school tribe, and they will help you to survive. So let me give you another example from my own life. When I was 15, I was really into the theatre and drama, and as you heard, I used to get pretty good roles in the school musicals. But I was not a very good dramatic actress. So when I heard that the school was going to put on Antigone, for those of you who don't know serious Greek drama, I was determined to win that lead role. I workshopped the play with my drama teacher. I ran lines with my friends. I researched. I watched past performances, actual videos I had to borrow from the school library. And I was ready. I had learned all the possible main parts that they could give me for the audition. And I nailed the audition. I was absolutely amazing. I had that role. Except so did my friend Kate. and she got the part. I was gutted. I was devastated. I had poured everything into winning that role, and I had failed. And not only that, Kate was a hugely successful athlete. How dare she come into my dramatic world and take that role from me? I felt really betrayed. I was so upset that I wasn't going to even take the secondary role that I was offered. But my school tribe talked me down. They said, "Come on, Kath, you want to learn how to be a better dramatic actress. You've got a role in Antigone. You're going to learn so much. Go on, you can do it." So they talked me into it. I did it. I had an incredible experience, and Kate and I had a blast being in that and many other future productions together. And by the way, she's the French-Welsh friend that I ended up living in London. So it's the tribe thing, people. Remember the tribe thing. So this brings me to my last hope, that you're learning the power of perspective. Let me explain that through the two devastating stories I've just told you. So when Kate got the role, I coveted it. I was devastated. I was gutted. But my tribe helped me see things from her perspective. She wanted to spread her wings. She didn't deserve to be boxed into being just the athlete. She wanted the opportunity to try and learn something new. When I saw it from her perspective, it helped me forgive her. I took the role, and as I said, we had a great time. When Jake broke up with me, my life was shattered. I thought my dreams were over. But he explained it to me. He said, "Kath, you can still have everything we dreamed of. You can still go and find your life partner and get married and have a family." And he said, "I'm heading down a path where I don't even know if my family will talk to me anymore." It was tough for him, and eventually they did, but he has never had kids. I have gone on. I've gotten married. I have a family. So that perspective really helped me see that no matter how awful I felt things were at the time, I had to push through. So when things are really tough for you, try and see things from another perspective. But I'm not just talking about the power of perspective from the point of view of seeing things that are happening to you differently. I'm talking to you about the power of being able to see other people's perspectives, other countries' perspectives, world leaders' perspectives, because you're going to need that. Right? We need to, as a global community, be able to understand and value the different perspectives we all bring to the interactions we share as a human race every day, because you guys are our hope for the future. If you can hear and respect each other's voices on the issues we face globally, then I have hope. You need to be the leaders of this generation. We have to find a way to cooperate on climate change, on global economics, on migration, and so on. There are many issues we are facing today as a planet. Personally, I had hoped that my generation, the first one to really benefit from the huge wave of globalization and produce many third cultures kids, would come up with solutions. But we've failed. We face a backlash of ignorance, and I apologize for our failure. But there is a reason why each of my slides contains my 3 main points in different languages, and I deliberately chose languages that use symbols rather than the phonetic alphabet, because they reflect that there are vast differences in countries and cultures on this planet. But I have spent most of my life living and working with friends and students and colleagues who come from all these countries and cultures, and I know that we share common humanity and common concerns, and I know that we can work together and achieve success when we pool our perspectives to combat problems. The captaincy team that organised this event represent a variety of nationalities, and all year I have watched them collaborate, support each other, and solve problems. So all of this gives me great hope for the future. My hope that you continue to value each other as members of your school tribe, the hope that you will dare to fail and ultimately succeed brilliantly because you will keep things in perspective and you will listen to, respect, value, and work together to understand each other's perspectives. Thank you.